2014 CCHL Draft. I'm Joe Baptista, and we're here in Gloucester, Ottawa, and we're going to go to Kevin Abrams, who's going to lead us into the draft and tell us about what's going to be going on tonight. Kevin, are you there?
I'm here. I'd like to welcome everyone that's viewing at home, all the players, parents, the supporters of the CCHL. It's a big night for us every year. Our CCHL Draft is an opportunity for us to welcome some potential new players to our league. It's a great opportunity for those players and families to meet some of the personnel that operate teams in our league. The process is as follows. We've already gone through our protected player process a couple of weeks ago. We'll have an opportunity to introduce those players here publicly for the very first time, and following that we'll have our draft, which is like any other draft, an inverse order of finish. Teams will select. We have 10 rounds, so you'll see a number of players that are anywhere from 15 to 17 years of age being selected, future players, future stars in the CCHL, and perhaps somebody that's right down the street playing someplace near you. So hopefully you'll enjoy this. Again, we welcome everyone to view, and we'll look forward to a great night.
Thank you, Kevin. So here we go. Live to the draft. It's on.
As we send out the tweet saying that the CCHL broadcast is on, sent out right now, we'll take two. It's the 2014 CCHL Draft. The Bantam Protests have just been announced, and now we're getting ready for the first round. To my left and your right is Mike Nellis, who covers the Gloucester Rangers, also a correspondent for In the O Radio. And on the other side of me, it's David Reynolds, who covers the Cumberland Grads. Both those teams have been fairly busy wheeling and dealing through the first round of picks. We should let you know that the Bantam selections you just saw were actually announced earlier on this month, about 2 weeks ago. Each team gets 2 picks for sure based on their geographic area. If a team passes over one of the players in its area, then another one can try to protect it, and that just gives them the rights for these players, many of who will go on to the Ontario Hockey League. They have very high talent level, these Bantam Protests, and we're going to meet each and every one of them later on in this show. But as we turn on to round one of the CCHL Draft, I guess we'll start by going through the movers and shakers. Gloucester started off the day with 4 first-round picks, and Michael, they've already moved a couple of those around.
Yeah, absolutely, and it started off with the Cumberland Grads moving up to first overall, and that was after they traded their 3rd overall pick to Hawkesbury in exchange for Hawkesbury's 1st overall pick. Then it was moved, that 3rd overall pick, to the Gloucester Rangers along with Hawkesbury's 6th overall pick in exchange for the 10th, 11th, and I believe the 19th pick as well. So Hawkesbury adds a 2nd round selection, and Gloucester gets the 3rd and 6th. So they have 4 first overall picks, and not only 4, but 4 very well placed picks as well. We're going to go over that right now. 3rd, 4th, 6th, and 9th. 4 first round picks, and a lot of those in the top half.
Yeah, moving up now, you mentioned a team that made a move to get up to number 1 overall. The Cumberland Grads are making their way to the stage. They moved up from 3 to 1. They had a player targeted, and now we're going to find out exactly who that player is going to be to join Cumberland potentially as soon as next season.
I have a hunch it could be Thomas Stevenson. He was the best player available after all the Bantam Protects were made. I was shocked he wasn't protected in the first place.
And you're not the only person I heard that from.
Yeah, and he's a guy, he lives just a 15-minute drive from the Navin Arena itself, so we're now going to go up to the podium to see the Cumberland Grads make their 1st overall selection.
Just as we wait for the Grads, I believe they're
Cumberland Grads would like to thank the Gloucester Rangers for hosting the draft, and we would like to wish Carleton Place best of luck as they represent our league at the Fred Page Cup. With the first pick overall, the Cumberland Grads are proud to select from the Ottawa 67, Tommy Stevenson.
Well, it's a real graduation feel here at the Earl Armstrong Arena. Lots of parents, lots of friends and families, well-dressed young men, and Thomas Stevenson, as you had your hunch, is the first man off the board.
I'm really curious to know if your graduation comment was a pun intended, as Thomas Stevenson walks up for his first moments as a member of the Cumberland Grads. Like I said, he was one of the best players available, I believe, in the 99 age group. He is a very solid defensive defenseman and has plenty of offensive skills. He was a power play defenseman for that Ottawa Junior 67s team that won the bronze medal game at the All-Ontario Pee Wee AAA Bantam Championships. and just a rock-solid pick by the Cumberland Grads, and he'll be a fantastic player for them in the future.
Yeah, and Thomas Stevenson with 3 goals, 7 assists, and 10 points on the season. A pretty disciplined player as well. Only 14 penalty minutes in the 28 games played for him. So yeah, very solid selection there from the Cumberland Grads. And I believe Dave alluded to it recently that Thomas Stevenson lives in the area. He's from Orleans, Ontario, I believe.
Yeah, and Dave, you do a lot of the games for the Cumberland Grads on Fast Hockey. How do you think he can fit into this team, either next year or especially down the line?
Well, the Cumberland Grads were actually dealt a big blow to the blue line just this year when David Bennett, arguably their top two-way defenseman, made a end-of-season 2014-15 commitment to Canisius College. As we just saw Canada make their second overall pick.
Yeah.
We didn't quite hear who it was.
Adam Church from the Ottawa Valley Titans, 10 goals and 14 assists in 30 games played. Second man going down the aisle for the Lasers, who had announced today that longtime GM Lou Nistico was stepping aside after maybe the draft preparation was done. So the former Stallions, now once again the Lasers, have their man. He's a big forward. He's the tallest guy out of the three of them out there, and the newest member of a Canada Lasers team that's trying to get back to playoffs, the glory that they knew under their former name, Mike.
Yeah, and they they did a lot of marketing last year, the Canada Lasers did, that the Lasers have never missed the playoffs under that name, and last year doesn't really count because they came in halfway through. So yeah, lots of high hopes there in Canada, hoping to qualify for the playoffs, and we'll see if Adam Church can help them do that at all, if he's able to crack the roster this year.
Only a couple of grads for the Canada Lasers, Braden Moffat and Casey Kulzicki. They traded a couple of veterans away at the deadline, as we have our next team coming up to the podium. It's going to be those Gloucester Rangers, who came into this with 4 first-round picks, shuffled it around a little bit, still have 4 first-round picks. But now we're going to be able to see what the Gloucester Rangers are going to get. They're another one of those teams, the non-playoff teams, obviously coming at the beginning of the draft, who can pretty much take the best player that they think is available.
Yeah, and at the CCHL prospect camp just this past weekend, they were openly very vocal about loving the goaltender Patrick Steskey from the 98-67s.
With the 3rd pick overall, the Gloucester Rangers from the Canadian International Hockey Academy select Chiwan Michael Blacksmith.
Chiwan Blacksmith from CAH over in Rockland, a 6'1", 167-pound forward, had 4 goals and 16 assists in 16 games played for that program. Doesn't look like he was able to make it tonight as the Rangers leave, but another skilled forward, it would appear, Michael, heading to the Gloucester Rangers.
Yeah, for sure. They've got a lot of those in Max Verino, Matt Foguet, and obviously, Chiwan Blacksmith.
Next selection is the Gloucester Rangers.
The Gloucester Rangers are moving back up to the podium in just a moment here with the 4th selection. We're not kidding when we said they had a load of first-round selections to make. But yeah, Blacksmith also a pretty good performer in the playoffs. He had more than a point-per-game pace in the 2014 playoffs for the major midget AAA CIH, scoring 12 points in 10 games.
And that CIH program, quickly here, David, has brought a new dimension to this draft, sort of as players from out of the area now qualify in that program, as Blacksmith is actually a Quebec native, but is able to be drafted into this league.
Yes, and you see that some of the younger programs in the Canadian International Hockey Academy, they sometimes struggle with the amount of guys that they're coming in, but their major midget program, as Blacksmith is a member of, their major midget program year after year is a very competitive program, and he's just another guy coming right from that pipeline now.
Yes, a 6'1", 167, a taller guy, an element that the Gloucester Rangers can definitely use. Ryan Kuffner, Max Verino, Matt Foguet, 3 of their forwards who are going to be big keys to this team this year and the next year. as I believe Kuffner definitely got committed in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And Verano, is he going 2015 or 2016 off to D1 NCAA?
Yeah, he's going to Princeton, I believe, in 2015, so they do have another season of Max Verano. And the Gloucester Rangers very fortunate in that, as Max Verano really a special player and nosed for the net. I've watched him play in the last 2 seasons, and he really is a pleasure to watch. I remember 2 years ago in Junior B when he carried the Ottawa Junior Canadians to the league title. And when I say carried, I mean carried. He had at least half the goals in the playoffs for that squad. So you'll see him lead the Gloucester Rangers next year. And these skilled selections that they're making are only going to complement guys like Foguet and Verano.
Dave, as we await the Gloucester Rangers pick, there's been a bit of buzz that they may be looking at a goalie with the 4th overall selection.
Yeah, as I was maybe guessing that they could do it the 3rd overall selection. They now have the 4th overall selection, which was their original pick in this CCHL draft. And Patrick Stesky, a 98-born goaltender from the Ottawa Junior 67s, played AA last year and Rep B the year before. So he's improved year after year, and if he continues at that pace, he could be a dominant goalie by the time he's 19.
The Rangers are pleased to select from the Ottawa 67s minor midget AAA Patrick Stesky.
Bingo.
Right on the money, Dave.
I'm 2 for 4 so far, so 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
His listing, 6 feet, 145 pounds. He's a big goalie that was actually picked by the Kingston Frontenacs late in the latest Ontario Hockey League draft in the 14th round. So the Rangers already have, I guess you could call rookie goalie of the year, Doug Johnston.
The next selection belongs to the Campbell
adding on
73s.
another young goaltender. You can never have too many of them. As we saw with the Smiths Falls Bears, who rode Pineos and Simic through the playoffs to a berth in the finals.
Yeah, absolutely. And Doug Johnston with some great work last year for the Gloucester Rangers in the crease. And not only that, but they have Nate Skidmore back next year as well. So that 1-2 punch should be good. And Stesky is only going to add to that in the future as we go back up to the podium.
Kempville 73 is going to make their
overall pick. Kempville 73 select from the Ottawa Valley Titans, Matthew Titus, Major Bantam.
Matthew Titus from the Ottawa Valley Titans, 99 age group. This was a guy projected to go to either Kempville or to the Canada Lasers between the 2nd or the 5th pick. He's a Western area kid. I believe he's from Stittsville. And he was the top scorer in the 99 age group who was not protected. So it's no surprise to see him come off the board early here.
Yeah, billed as being a player with good vision, which teams can always use. He's able to make players around him better. As you know, the Kempville 73s, Michael had a couple of those guys this year. Jesse Blay, Dean Glasso, Eric Brown, top-end talent that they were missing in years past, whether through a trade as a couple of years ago. But now they're picking up Matthew Titus, who at 1998 is 1 year older, 1 year closer to potentially making an impact in the CCHL.
Yeah, the Kempville 73 is doing a lot of good work as of late, and it's showing on the ice, qualifying for the playoffs this year. They were unfortunate in drawing the Carleton Place Canadians in the 1st round, but they did compete in that series, that's for sure. And a guy like Matthew Titus only going to add to that compete level that they have.
So just quickly, Thomas Stevenson, a defenseman from the Ottawa 67s, the first
Next
overall
selection,
pick.
the Gloucester
Adam
Rangers.
Church to the Canada Lasers, number 2. The Rangers back-to-back, Chewton Blacksmith and Patrick Stesky, the goalie, at 4th, and Matthew Titus recently announced at 5th, and right back up there. The Gloucester Rangers blowing out their jersey budget, going to have to bring 4 new ones up onto the podium. They've taken a goalie, they've taken a forward. I wonder if defense may be their next as the Gloucester Rangers look to add depth throughout the organization.
Yeah, and the Gloucester Rangers, their problem last year was goal scoring against, right? They had no problem with goals for, but they had a lot against, and that comes down to the defense, so that you'll see them looking to beef up on the blue line. They do have a lot of returning players in Matthew Deshotel, Zach Saloom, Adam Beveridge as well, very impressive on the blue line for the Gloucester Rangers last year. But as I said, they're going to look to improve for sure, and there's some defensemen still on the board, Dave.
Yeah, there's a few guys that I would have my eye on if I were the Gloucester Rangers. One guy is Andre Giordano from the 98 Ottawa Junior 67s, where most of those players were picked last year in the draft, but the team made it to the OHL Cup bronze medal game this year and ended up finishing 3rd in the province, so that team is going to have a lot of players picked. Another guy was a player that has played with the 67s up until this season when he joined the Upper Canada Cyclones for his minor midget year, and that is Robbie Pickard. He is a big defenseman, about 6'2", about 170 pounds, and he went from the 67s and was instantly the number one man on the Cyclones. He's a big guy. He lives in the Gloucester area as well. So he would be a solid pickup for this team, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him go in either of those directions.
Yeah, the Rangers.
With the 6th pick overall in this draft, the Gloucester Rangers select from the Major Bantam AAA Ottawa Valley Titans, Adam Johnston.
Adam Johnson. And Paul Jennings, definitely a busy man early in this draft.
Yeah, getting himself a power forward, 5'11", 170 pounds, big hitter, net front player, and a new member of the Gloucester Rangers. Didn't happen to catch the hat that he's wearing. I don't know if that was a Rangers hat, if that was a tell. We obviously don't have any roving reporters who are up in the stands here at the Earl Armstrong Arena. Mike, nice to see the draft back at the Earl again.
Yeah, for sure. And there was some talk at first that they were going to move to an online draft, but they decided to move it back to the Earl Armstrong Arena for what I believe is the 3rd straight season. And it's a really good atmosphere inside what I believe, and I might have a little bias, but I believe that it's one of the best rinks in the league. And it's good to come back here year after year, as I don't believe it was a Gloucester Rangers hat as he throws a different one on right now, Andrew.
We'll get our investigators on that, and we'll bring you the answers as we move forward. David, what can you tell us about Adam Johnson as we await the Cumberland Grads' 2nd pick of the 1st round?
I'm more curious about the hat at this point. I mean, I know we asked the hard-hitting questions, but that hat is bugging
the Cumberland
me.
Grads.
The Cumberland Grads, one guy that I've heard a lot about is a guy that was a member of the 98 Eastern Ontario Wild, an undersized skill forward named Braden Laidlaw. Yeah. He's played AA hockey with the Grads growing up. His brother plays for the Cumberland Grads Minor Hockey Association as well. He is one of the most intelligent players available in this draft, and definitely would not be surprised to see him go
Cumberland
there.
Grads are proud to select from the Major Bantam Eastern Ontario Wild, Mathieu Plante.
Mathieu Plante, another small, quick, skilled forward with vision. He is from the Eastern Ontario Wild, as you heard the Cumberland Grads announce. But still, Mathieu Plante, 21 points in 28 games. Going off to Cumberland with the frosted tips, moving down the red carpet.
Yeah, I saw him play several times this season. He was when he played on a line with Zach Rodrigue, a protect for the Cumberland Grads. It's easy to get sort of lost in that star power, but he did a very good job standing out, and he really helped more than rode along on the gravy train, if we were to put it in those terms. I know that Hawkesbury was really high on him, was hoping that he would slip, but Cumberland decided to pull a fast one on their Eastern Ontario rivals, and they've now taken him with the 7th overall pick, and I'm sure he's happy to be staying in the Cumberland and Navan area.
Yeah, and you talked about Dave Braden Laidlaw being a small, skilled forward. Well, you have another guy here, another smaller forward, Adam Johnston, going to the Cumberland Grads, and he could play that skill role as well in the future.
Absolutely. Next selection belongs to the Brockville Braves.
Brockville Braves, the team that has provided us with part of our set here at the Earl Armstrong Arena. Whit and the gang, Phil over there as well, helping out with the broadcast. You know, Cumberland, the thing about the CCHL this year, it was on my mind time and time again. Even the teams that missed the playoffs, such as Cumberland, still had guys like Mark Goldberg, Matt Dupont before he got traded to the Junior Senators, Travis Douglas, obviously. So now the Grads adding more and more firepower up front to go along with the solid back end. They've got Cam Roth back there, anchoring a solid back end that a lot of CCHL watchers were fans of, and now the Grads continuing to add to that up front.
Yeah, the Grads were never an easy out in the regular season.
Absolutely
I thought
not.
they were a very hard-working team from what I saw. They gave teams fits in the defensive zone, and yeah, I mean they've got a lot of firepower. Mark Goldberg, I actually predicted them finishing higher than they did. I had them making the playoffs this season or this past season, and you know what? When you add a guy like Mathieu Plante, who's got to be a hard-working player to make it at his size, he's definitely going to add to that.
With our
the
first
character that they have on that team.
Brockville Braves are proud to select from Upper Canada Cyclones, Cameron Hebert.
Cameron Ebert, a member of the Major Bantam Upper Canada Cyclones. He's another guy that is not exactly the biggest guy in the world, but he's an undersized, smart, intelligent, skilled forward, but he also is pretty scrappy. His older brother plays for the Major Midget AAA Cyclones as well, and they both play the same kind of game, which is scrappy but smart, and they can generate offense while they're doing it.
So a lot of retaliatory penalties, it sounds like.
A little. He draws them, that's for sure.
Yeah. So the newest Brockville Brave up there on stage, small, scrappy, skilled. Sounds like the kind of player the Brockville fans could learn to love in a couple of years. Michael?
Yeah, for sure, like a Brendan Gallagher type almost. When you look at how Montreal Canadiens fans have jumped on his bandwagon, you look at Cameron Hebert, and he's got a very similar reputation from the sounds of it. And with the 8th overall selection coming from St. Andrews as well, a very good pick there for the Brockville Braves as they look to
selection,
retool.
the Gloucester Rangers.
Gloucester Rangers, pick number 9, going to be up here for the 4th and final time, we think, in this first round. This pick is originally from the Pembroke Lumber Kings, so we're getting down into the tail end. And again, we'll remind you that after the first round, we'll be bringing the teams over one by one. We'll be asking some questions of the Bantam Pro-Techs, getting you a chance to know them better. Of course, the fellows over to our left, you can't see the CCHL network, have been doing some great work with the prospects and are continuing to do some great work, likely with these first round prospects. We will continue to keep you updated on the second round and perhaps the third round if we stretch into that as this broadcast wears on. But we are going to switch our focus over to the Bantam Pro-Techs after this first round. Again, each team getting to make 2, perhaps 3. There were 2 teams that actually got to make 3, and they're the teams that made this trade, Gloucester and Pembroke. If you lose a player to the Ontario Hockey League, that's when you get a compensatory pick. So 26 Bantam Pro-Techs in all, as the Gloucester Rangers and their younger jersey carrier make their way up for the last pick here. Wondered if they were going to make a trade when they had 4 first-round picks, but they're electing to make all of them, it looks like.
With the 9th overall pick in the first round, the Gloucester Rangers are pleased to select from the Ottawa 67s, Maynard Bantam AAA, Jean-Sébastien Graton.
That's a popular pick right there.
Yeah. So we see the second goalie come off our board here in our draft, and this time it's another junior 67, but this time from the major Bantams. Jean-Sébastien Graton was the starter for the junior 67s as they made their run all the way to the provincials. And he's another local kid. He lives in Gloucester. Yeah. It's maybe a 2-minute drive to the arena for him. So
I was just going to mention that for sure.
He might become a fan favorite very
great,
soon.
Great numbers as well, Michael.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. A 168 goals against average in the regular season. And I mean, it obviously helps playing on the team that was the junior 67's major Bantam, but a very solid goaltender is J.S. Graton. I've watched him play all through the years, and he just gets better and better, eventually making it up to the AAA level. As Dave mentioned, he's from the area, played on the Gloucester Rangers all the way up. Before that, he played on the Gloucester Cougars and the Gloucester Blackhawks, so a local player to the Gloucester Rangers here today, and they've got to be thrilled to get him on board.
And that's what you want to see. You talk about that sense of improvement, David, especially with netminders who can take a little bit slower to develop, but that sense to improve, that ability to work on your game, to identify weaknesses and turn them not into weaknesses anymore, that really is key for netminders. So it seems like a very nice asset to have here for the latest pick in the first round.
Yeah, because absolutely, because junior teams, they don't want minor hockey players playing the same way they do in minor hockey. They're trying to figure out where they are going to be, say, 3 years from now. Because especially with goalies, you're not going to bring them in as a 16-year-old. His ability to show improvement year after year is definitely a quality that endears him to the Gloucester Rangers.
Back-to-back picks coming here for the Hawkesbury Hawks, who had the lowest point total in the CCHL this year, 41 points. They started off with the number 1 pick, and they've worked their way down to the 10th and 11th pick, but on their website, after they made that trade with Cumberland to move down from 1 to 3, their management said that they wanted to add depth. They felt like this was a very deep draft, and that's certainly what they're being able to do, picking up an extra 2nd and 3rd rounder, and still having 2 picks in the first round.
Yeah, absolutely, and I guess that's what you expect when they give away the 3rd round pick and pick up picks in the 2nd and 3rd round, as you mentioned. That's just a testament to how deep the draft really is and how the Hawkesbury Hawks have so much confidence in the later rounds of this draft as GM Ian Henderson makes his way up to the podium here. But yeah, the Hawkesbury Hawks, a team that had the 1st overall pick. They recently acquired Hunter Racing via trade. Yeah. And with these 2 back-to-back picks, they're building a pretty good prospect pool to go along with it as well.
Yeah, they certainly have a lot of potential
Hawkesbury
openings.
Hawks would like to congratulate the Carleton Place Canadians on a great season. With our first pick, the Hawks select from the Eastern Ontario Wild minor midget, Braden Laidlaw.
So Laidlaw is a first rounder after all, going to the Hawkesbury Hawks. They picked up Racine, but they lost Carl Fauché in that deal, so forward in and forward out. And they can pretty much add depth throughout their lineup, choosing to go with Laidlaw for the first of their back-to-back picks.
Yeah, it's funny you mention Hunter Racine because Braden Laidlaw actually plays a very similar style to Hunter Racine, which is, well, we've been saying it a lot. He's not the biggest guy, but extremely intelligent. I mentioned earlier, one of the smartest players available in this draft. Knows where to put the puck, is an extremely smart passer, and is a great setup man, and that is a pretty solid definition of Hunter Racine as well. So he may have a mentor in Hawkesbury to look up to as he joins Hunter Racine and the rest of the Hawkesbury Hawks.
Yeah, and we talk about size with some of these kids, and this is all a projection, of course. These kids still have a lot of growing to do. It may not even happen from their 14 to a 15, 16-year-old season. Sometimes it happens from 16 to 17. I remember Blaine Byron sprouted up a couple inches in his draft year, which didn't hurt his stock, and he ended up going to the Penguins in the 6th round.
Yeah, and I remember just last year the Gloucester Rangers had Riley Bruce on board, and he sprouted up and eventually left to go to the North Bay Battalion, so they lost him because of his growth. And so that's just what height can do and what size can do for these players.
Hawkesbury Hawks right back up. We have the pick in front of us here on the in-house software. We're not going to spoil it yet.
Ontario Wild Major Bantam, Nicholas Campbell.
So no goaltenders for Bantam Protects, Michael, but the third goaltender off the board, it's Nicholas Campbell coming off to the Hawkesbury Hawks from the Eastern Ontario Wild.
Yeah, and I think this is a great pick. Sorry, Michael, I started to cut you off. I'm just saying, I think Nick Campbell is arguably the top goaltender in this entire 99 age group in Ottawa. He absolutely stole games for the Eastern Ontario Wild this year, and when it came to the playoffs, he was pretty much the singular reason that they made the finals. He just dominated the Titans, had, I think, 2 shutouts in the 6-game series, and just shut the door completely, and he's going to be an absolute stud for Hawkesbury in the future.
For a while there, the Hawkesbury Hawks were a very special slate of, or a very special place for goaltenders to develop. Remember Carmen Guerrero, you talk about stealing games, Carmen Guerrero certainly was a source of that. So now the Hawkesbury Hawks going back to the well, picking themselves up in netminder, and it always helps in a developing team that can have a netminder that can steal a game or two for you, add confidence. It's one of those intangible things you can add to a team, is the confidence in the netminder behind you to maybe not be so afraid of making a mistake.
Yeah, and the confidence that the goaltender has as well, and coming off a playoff run that you just alluded to, Dave,
final
being able
selection
to
in the
select
first
Nick
round,
Campbell, that is a lot of confidence
CCHL
that he's going to
champion
have
Carleton
going
Place
into next season
Canadiens
and the seasons beyond.
Carleton Place Canadiens now. This time tomorrow they're going to be in St. Jerome, Quebec for the Fred Page Cup. They did it without giving up their first-round pick, as Pembroke, Ottawa, Smiths Falls. The rest of the Final Four team did as well, so that's one of the reasons why the Canadiens are champs. They are up now. There's Jason Clark, GM, owner, head coach, to make the last pick of the first round here at the CCHL Draft.
The Carleton Place Canadiens are proud to select from Carleton Place, Ontario, Ryan Shaw.
Well, no surprise that they go with the Carleton Place kid, Stephen Bayless, the local product. Very popular with the fans there. You saw that in Game 5 of the CCHL Finals when they clinched. But Ryan Shaw from the Ottawa Valley Titans is the newest member to wear the barber pole uniforms of the Carleton Place Canadiens. So I don't know if he'll get out of school to be able to go to the Fred Page Cup, and he'll probably be following along online, Mike.
Yeah, for sure. And, going to a very good organization in the Carleton Place Canadiens as he throws that barber pole jersey on right now. But yeah, Ryan Shaw, definitely a pick for the future for the Carleton Place Canadiens. They did lose a couple players, so that is potential for him to slide in there. But yeah, a local guy, you mentioned how popular playoff MVP Stephen Bayless was, so obviously they're looking to touch on that once again.
Now we're going to start to bring, I believe, some of these Bantam Protects into the picture here on the broadcast. And the first set of Bantam Protect interviews is going to go to our friend David Reynolds, talking to his team, Black. As much as you can be a team covering it, we don't want to get his team wrong or anything. But the looks like the Cumberland Grads are up for here first, David. We'll get ourselves out of your way.
All right, so I'm now with the Cumberland Junior Grads, Bantam Protect, Zachary Rodrigue, and Roman Cannell. and assistant coach Matthew Fiender, and we're going to find out a little bit more about them. So first I'm going to talk to Zach. Zach, one of the top scorers in the Major Bantam area, and you've lived in the Cumberland area your whole life. What's it like being picked by your local hometown team?
Oh, it feels great to be picked. Local people, be local guys. It feels great, so I don't have to move more. So, yeah.
And also, I'm going to go over to you, Roman. Now, your teammates with Zach all the time with minor hockey. You ended up being tied for the lead of scoring this year in Major Bantam. Don't you think it's cool that you're going to be going with your teammate to Cumberland to play junior hockey beyond there?
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm really excited to play with him and hopefully the other older guys there, and they can teach me some stuff.
So I'm going to go back to, I'm going to ask you both of you guys this. What do you guys think of the Grads organization? Like, what was, like, describe when they first talked to you. What did they say to you? Like, what are you most looking forward to doing with the Grads?
Oh, just developing with them, because I think they'll be a huge part of my development to go higher, if I go higher. But yeah, just a huge development.
Same question.
Well, I'm really excited to play. Hometown team, and I used to play at Navan before. Yeah. So I'll be really excited to go back there, hopefully. And yeah, good development with the older guys.
All right, so a few of the top picks by the Cumberland Grads all played games last year. Keenan Reynolds, Nick Mattinen, Nick Lapointe, they all played games last year. Do you think that you'd be able to come in and do a good job next year?
I think I'll be able to. Maybe with the speed. Yeah, just be hard, but I think I can keep up.
And I'll ask you, what are you looking forward to in your minor midget year?
Hopefully improve off last year and do well. We're getting some new guys, hopefully with the boundary change. So we'll see, and hopefully our team does well this year and we improve off last year.
Okay. All right, now final question. Describe a player who you think you play like.
More like a Crosby. Not close to his skill, not even close, but more like playmaker, and I can still snipe. I usually set guys up, but I can still score those big goals.
All right, cool. And Roman, what about you?
Maybe like Daniel Alfredson. He was always my favorite player when he played for the Sens, so yeah.
Well, that's Roman Cannell and Zachary Rodriguez, brand new members of the Cumberland Grads, 2014 Bantam Protex. Congratulations to both of you guys.
Thank you.
All right, we're now with the brand new members of the Brockville Braves, Declan Hilton and Oliver Castleman. You guys were teammates this year with the Major Bantam AAA Junior 67s. What's it going to be like playing with your teammate through junior?
It's going to be good chemistry. Be passing the puck a lot to him, setting each other up. Get along well with each other on and off the ice.
So Brockville has always been a strong organization. What was the honor like being picked by them in the Protex?
It was a great opportunity to move on in my hockey career and hopefully make it, and then we can move on further to the playoffs.
So neither of you guys are really from the Brockville area, so do you think it'll be cool to sort of get out and get into the smaller town and see what hockey's like with that kind of atmosphere?
Yeah, we get to meet new people, get to meet a new town, look around there. I'm sure there's friendly people around that area, so I'm sure there's also friendly teammates too. And yeah.
Same question, like smaller towns have a huge fan base, so it's got to be exciting to play in one of those, eh?
Yeah, it's great with a lot of fans come out to watch every Friday night, and yeah.
So I'm going to ask this question to everyone I see today. Who is a player that you think you play like?
I think I kind of play like Crosby, Not as good as him, but I score some goals sometimes and also set some people up, work hard, and that's mostly it.
And yourself?
I'd say probably Claude Giroux. He's kind of a team player, and he likes to score.
Well, that is Declan Hilton and Oliver Castleman, brand new members of the Brockville Braves. Congratulations, both of you guys.
Next up, the Ottawa Junior 67s Bantam Protex, so the two-time Iserman Division champions. the team that I do the broadcast for here on Fast Hockey. And to my left, I guess we'll bring them right in, Nick McHugh and Greg Merlis over here on my right. They're teammates with the Ottawa Junior 67s. And Nick, I guess we'll start with you. 11 goals and 23 assists in 27 games. Do you count playmaking as maybe your strong suit? Or I guess where does playmaking rank among what you think your strengths are?
It's definitely one of my biggest strengths. I try to model my game around playmaking, so that's definitely what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, winger or centerman?
I'm winger, and yeah.
Yeah, and did you guys play on a line together back with the Junior 67s?
No.
No, that's too bad. Well, you'll get a chance through the years maybe. We don't know how that's going to go. Greg, I know from reading online there's a lot of people who think you got a good chance of going maybe pretty high in the Ontario League draft next year. Just what do you make of that?
I try not to focus on that stuff because it's just a distraction. I just try to focus on my game.
Yeah, perfect. And what would you say your game would be for the Ottawa Junior Senators fans that may be watching here?
We'll see what happens.
What do you guess your strengths are, I guess is what I'm asking.
I guess speed. Speed is my biggest strength. I work on that a lot. And I look forward to playing with the Junior Sens.
Yeah. What was the biggest moment for you, Nick, over the last season playing with the Junior 67s? What was your biggest moment or the moment that stands out the most?
I definitely played really good in the playoffs, so that's pretty good for me.
Great. And Greg, I guess I'll ask you the same question.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Just your biggest memory or the biggest thing that stands out from last year for you?
Probably provincials. Getting third place, it's pretty big for an Ottawa team.
It's always better to win bronze than lose silver in some ways, eh?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
They all look the same on the trophy cabinet. At the end, we're going to wrap up here with the Ottawa Junior Senators, Bantam Protex, Nick McHugh, and Greg Morales. Next up, looks like we've got some Smiths Falls Bears. All right, the Smiths Falls Bears, Bantam Protex are next here at the 2014 CCHL Draft on Fast Hockey. To my left, we have Eric Sutherland, and to my right, it's Connor Senkin. And Connor, I don't know if you looked at the birthdays, but you're the youngest Bantam Protex. You got a Halloween birthday, if I'm not mistaken. So you may be a little bit used to playing against some older guys. But eventually you're going to catch up. But what would you say you could potentially bring to the Smiths Falls Bears in the future?
Well, I think I'm an offensive defenseman. Well, I am an offensive defenseman. I really like to use my speed and vision to create offense in the offensive zone. But I pride my game in the fact that when needed, I can shut it down in the defensive zone.
Yeah, so you like to be able to think that you can play a 200-foot game, if we can use the cliche?
Yeah, definitely.
And Eric, what about you? What do you think you might be able to bring to, whatever teams you end up on? You're wearing the Bears jersey right now, but, what do you think you can bring as you develop as a hockey player?
Well, I think I can bring a little bit of offense to the team, but mostly it's my puck moving and my play in the defensive zone. That's what I get recognized for.
So did you guys play against each other in the league before? Now you're going to be Bears. You're probably going to play against each other a little bit more, but now you've got maybe a good reason not to, go too hard on them.
Well, for the next year, it's all about my Titans, and hoping we can get some revenge. We didn't even get to meet them in the playoffs last year. Knocked out early, but hopefully we'll see them next year come March.
Yep. All right, Connor, just one more question to you. What did you make of the Bears' playoff run? I know you were there for, what would that have been, Game 4 when we got you on Coach Ago, but how did that make you feel knowing that the team had just protected you and they were one that was able to go so deep?
Well, obviously it was a great run on their part. And just to know that I'm being protected to a team with such a winning history, and when we went there, the fans were amazing. We got to go in the locker room. It was one of the highest class locker rooms I've ever seen, so it's a real honor to be protected by them.
All right, that's Connor Senkin and Eric Sutherland, Bantam Protex of the Smiths Falls Bears.
And welcome back here with the Gloucester Rangers Bantam Protex now, 3 of them, as we join out by Jacob Paquette, Darcy Walsh, and Eric Ross. So we'll start with you, Jacob, and what does it mean to you here to be picked by the Gloucester Rangers?
It's a big honor getting draft protected by the Gloucester Rangers.
Yeah.
It's all this effort I put into is finally paid off, and it's great.
Dawson and Darcy, obviously you played with the Gloucester Rangers through your minor hockey career, so it's got to be special to get picked by them today.
Yeah, it's great. Close to home.
I played with them, like you said, my whole life, and always looked up to the Junior A players when I was getting onto the ice.
And how about you, Eric? What does it mean to you to be picked here today by the Rangers?
Well, it's a great experience. There's a lot of great guys that got picked up by them, so they're a couple of years going to be a great team, So.
Yeah, for sure. And just touching now on your last season, obviously all of you guys teammates for the Junior 67. So how did you, Jacob, enjoy your last season, which was pretty successful?
That was great, actually. We won the season playoffs, went to provincial in Stratford. We got bronze, which is a big accomplishment.
For sure, yeah.
And yeah.
And Darcy, you were up there in league scoring as well, so obviously you had a pretty successful season.
Yeah, it was great. The guys I was playing with are really nice guys. Obviously very successful, winning the playoffs and finishing bronze at provincials. Only the second Ottawa team to do so, I think. So it was a great year.
Yeah, for sure. And Eric, you not only had a great season in Major Bantam, but you also had a chance to get called up by the minor midget squad and play in the OHL Cup. So what was that experience like?
Well, it was a great experience. A lot of them went really high, like in the OHL Cup. They went to the draft, went really high. So it's a really good experience playing against top elite players.
All right, and that'll do it for the Gloucester Rangers Bantam Pro-Tex, once again, congratulations to all of you, and best of luck in the upcoming season.
I'm David Reynolds, once again with the Cornwall Colts Bantam Protected picks. We have Roddy Sandilands to my right and your left, and on my left we have Connor McCormick. So both you guys were opponents during the regular season. What's it going to be like being on the same team now?
Oh, it's going to be really good. I'm really looking forward to next season. I've known Connor for a long time now, and we're pretty good buddies, so it'll be fun to play with each other again.
So usually during the season, you got to go after your buddy a little bit, give him a bit of a hard time. Now that he's on the ice with you, what's going to happen?
It's going to be a big change. I played with him a couple of years ago in Seaway, but I don't know. It's going to be a lot better playing with him than against him.
All right, so I'm going to have to get both of you guys this. What's it like being picked by Cornwall, who's been a pretty prestigious organization and a very successful organization since their inception?
Oh, it's been awesome. That was my goal for this year, kind of thing. I was hoping to, but I feel great. It's an awesome feeling, and yeah, it's good.
They're a good organization, so it feels good. That's been my goal ever since I started, and I don't know. I guess it just feels good. All the work's paying off. So.
All right, now one thing special about Cornwall next season, which your season will be done by then. So, as protected players, it's possible for you guys to be called up. Now, Cornwall's hosting the Fred Page Cup. What would it be like to be a participant in that tournament?
Oh, it would be unreal kind of thing. It'd be really fun, and I hope it happens because it would be good.
It'd be a really good experience just playing as a 16-year-old. I don't know. It'd be good to just get some ice in Junior A anytime.
All right, now just one last quick question to each of you. Name a player who you think you play like.
I think I play a bit like Jared Cowan from the Ottawa Senators, who likes to take the body but can also be pretty offensive sometimes. So.
And yourself, Connor?
Milan Lucic. He's a big power forward. Play both ends of the ice.
All right, well, thank you guys, and congratulations on being picked to the Cornwall Colts. Roddy Sandilands and Connor McCormick.
Back here with the Canada Lasers Bantam Pro-Tex, Ryan Horvath and Taylor Carlson. So we're going to start with you, Ryan, and obviously you had a pretty successful season coming in, protected by the Lasers. What does it mean to you to go to the Canada Lasers?
Well, it's definitely a big honor to be recognized as one of the better players in our league.
Yeah.
It's going to be really convenient for me to be able to play close to home. And, just growing up and training where I've trained, I've been around a lot of junior players. So it's just really exciting to be on my way to becoming one.
Yeah, for sure. And you as well. It's got to be exciting for you, Taylor, as well, to finally move up into the junior ranks yourself.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting when I found out, and was pretty proud and just really honored to be protected by Canada, because it's so close, and it's just a great convenience.
Yeah, for sure, and both of you obviously playing in the Canada area, moving up through your minor hockey careers, so it's got to be exciting to go to a local team like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's going to be great. Like, we're Titans. We're used to the long drives to Beachburg and to Pembroke, so a nice 15-minute drive. It's going to be refreshing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you're logging a lot of minutes in the car, obviously, as a junior hockey player. So it's going to be a big commitment, and you've got to be excited for that, both of you. So I'll just throw it back over to you, Taylor. And obviously, how do you see yourself play hockey? Is there any kind of NHL players that you model your game off of?
I guess Drew Doughty in a way, but obviously not as skilled. But
well, maybe one day.
Hopefully one day. But really just that's one guy that I look up to when I'm watching NHL, and really one day hopefully just go as high as I can.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah. And how about you, Ryan? Are there any NHL players that you tend to model yourself off of?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say Patrick Kane, just because we play the same way. We're both really kind of vision and puck oriented players.
Yeah.
So I just try to play like him, maybe with a little more competitive edge, I guess. But yeah, for sure, that's the guy I would pick.
Yeah, less partying and more hockey.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to wrap this segment up, and the Canada Lasers Bantam Protex, we congratulate them once again and wish them the best in the upcoming season. Phil 73's Bantam Protex, Liam Dennison and Cameron Bisson. So guys, first of all, Liam, congratulations on being selected for the Campbell 73s. It's got to be exciting for you.
Yeah, it's a great feeling overall. It was a tough year for me, and the feeling's just absolutely unbelievable right now.
Yeah, and how about you, Cameron? It's got to be exciting for you to get drafted by this hockey club.
Yeah, it's an honor to just be able to play higher level hockey and get to play with older players and learn from them, and yeah.
For sure, and we'll go back to you, Liam. And what are some of the goals that you have for yourself in this upcoming season?
Hopefully to grow a little bit like this guy, but just work on my game, just get faster, bigger, faster, stronger. That's always the goal. And just work on the technical little things like speed, like hands and all that stuff. Just working on improving and getting ready for a big season in 2 years, hopefully to play with them.
All right, and Cameron, obviously you have the size part in check, but what else do you want to improve in your hockey game coming in this upcoming season?
I'd like to practice just handling the puck in general and making plays and just overall just all the basics. Just practice on all the basics and then from there just play hockey.
For sure, and we congratulate both these guys, the Kempville 73s, Bantam Protex, and best of luck to both of you in the upcoming season.
Thank you.
Ottawa selects from the Ottawa Valley Titans
the Hawkesbury Hawks, Bantam Protex, Ryan Wells and Matt Frosch. So we'll start with you, Ryan, and it's got to be thrilling for you to be picked here by the Hawkesbury Hawks, a small town team, probably going to play in front of quite a few fans in the upcoming seasons.
Yeah, it's a big honor to be drafted here in Hawkesbury Hawks. It's close to my town, and I'm proud and very excited to play with the Hawks.
Yeah, for sure, and obviously, Matt, it's got to be pretty exciting for you as well, going as a protect to the Hawkesbury Hawks.
Well, they got a really deep history with hockey, having Martin St. Louis as an alum, so when you get drafted by them, you always try to be, the next Martin St. Louis, and just try. And it's also nice because, you know that they want to invest 4 years in you. So it's nice to know that there's a team that wants me for 4 years.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the big things with Junior A hockey is the 4-year commitment that all the players get. Back to you, Ryan. Now, obviously, next season is your minor midget year. So what do you want to focus on to become a better player as a minor midget?
I'll say be more physical, use my strength on the ice and play like I can, and everything's going to be great, and yeah.
And Matt, obviously with you, your dad, Mark, is with the Cumberland Grads, and you were selected by the Hawkesbury Hawks. So how's that going to work? Is there any kind of rivalry there now?
Well, it's going to be tough because if we ever play against him and he wins, then he's got the bragging rights until the next time we play. But he's never gonna hear the end of it if I ever because if I ever score against him, he's never gonna hear the end of it how he didn't take me. So he's always gonna have that hanging over his head. So
yeah, for sure. And yeah, maybe he'll want to trade for you just so that he never has to deal with that.
Well, anything can happen, but.
And we congratulate both of you guys on your selection, and we'll let you go back to your tables. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
All right, Pembroke Lumber Kings, Bantam Protects. We got 3 of them, which is different from 10 of the other 11 teams. To my left, it's Liam Hall. He's a center from Arnprior. Then to my first right here, Chris Lalonde, and finally on the far side, Wade Brennan. Liam, we're going to start with you. 29 assists in 29 games played to lead the league in that front. So what were you able to do this last season that made you so successful on the playmaking front? And of course, what were your teammates able to do to help you out to be the assist leader in the league?
Well, we had a great team, great line mates, I guess. We just moved the puck really well and found the back of the net as much as we could, I guess.
Do you think that's a skill that you can continue on to the CCHL and the upper levels? Still keep trying to be a good passer such as that?
Yeah, that's what I like to try to do. Make play.
All right, Chris Lalonde now. Last year, 17 goals and 13 assists in 30 games played. But the year before that, you had more assists than you had goals. So that seems to suggest that you can play your game a couple different ways.
Yeah, I like to think that I have many different styles. Very offensive awareness with the scoring touch, as Pembroke likes to say. But I like to pass the puck as well as make the play and score the goals.
Finally, Wade, your build is a defense-first guy, so I want to know, can you shut these other guys down one-on-one?
Yes, of course. All you gotta do is watch the chest.
All right, well, don't give away all your secrets. So once again, that's Liam Hall, Chris Lalonde, and Wade Brennan, the Bantam Protects from the Pembroke Lumber Kings.
I'm David Reynolds once again with the Carleton Place Canadians Protects. Cole Fraser and Logan Buchanan, both teammates of the Ottawa Valley Titans of the Major Bantam age group. So what's it going to be like playing with your teammate for the Carleton Place Canadians in the future?
Well, it's going to be pretty cool. We know each other. We've always played together when we were younger, so it's going to be pretty good playing with them all through.
And yourself, Cole?
I grew up watching them I think I was 8 when they were junior B, and they're still even now they're into junior A, and it's pretty surreal being able to one day maybe play for them.
Yeah, so they're a pretty successful team. By this time tomorrow, they're going to be on the ice competing in the Fred Page Cup. Tell me about the honor that it is to be protected by a team of that quality.
Well, it's a pretty big honor, just knowing that you're good enough to be protected by that team out of all the kids in the league, and just knowing that you're up there with all those kids that are also very good and very skilled. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, same question, Cole. What's it like being protected by a team that's such a prestigious and quality organization?
It's pretty awesome. They're a great team. I went and watched all their playoff games. They play as a team. They got the chemistry, and being able to one day play for them, it's as a team with that caliber, it's amazing.
So as Major Bantam players, I know that all the moms are big fans of you guys, but you guys have probably never been in front of a massive fan base as awesome as the Carleton Place Canadians. What's it going to be like playing in that barn?
Wow, packed every game, so not a big barn, but they pack the people in, and it's going to be pretty cool. It's just all the people there, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, you yourself, you were once one of those fans. Now you get to be on the ice as those fans cheer you on. That's got to be a cool experience for you.
I mean, it's surreal. It's awesome. It's great. I wish I could play with them now.
Now, final question. Just name a player and just a quick summary of why you play like a certain player. Who would you play like?
I'd say Bo Horvat from the OHL London Knights. I just think I'm physical like him. I can score, I can pass, and I just feel I play a really similar game to him.
All right, yourself, Cole?
Shea Weber, because he's physical, he's got a boomer of a shot, and I think I can relate to him in a big way.
As Cole Fraser, Logan Buchanan, Ottawa Valley Titans, and now members of the Carleton Place Canadians Bantam Protects. Congratulations, boys.
Wow, I'm with the Nepean Raiders, and I just finding out we got a couple of birthday boys on either side of me. We got Ryan O'Connell and Ethan Rendell Watson, and both have had birthdays within the last week, so this is a nice way to finish off the week. Ryan is... I got the crossover. You Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan, sorry about that. 3 goals and 22 assists from the back end. So what's your strategy sort of when you're breaking out of your own zone?
You really want to headman the puck, take some rushes if you can, but mostly just headman the puck and jump in the play when you can.
So do you think you're able to generate offense, both from the breakout, getting your assists that way, but I hadn't seen you play. Do you get a lot on the power play? Do you get a lot in the offensive zone as well?
Yeah, I mostly get my points in the power play, setting up guys and getting points, and passes, assists.
Okay. Ethan Rendell Watson on the other side. You got a pretty high goal total, a nice assist total, and a high penalty minute total. So you try to get your name on the score sheet as much as possible, it looks like.
Yeah, I try my best to get on there. Try to work hard every game. Just score as many goals as I can and help my teammates score. And
Notice you got a shorthanded goal, at least one shorthanded goal on your record as well. So is the penalty kill one of the parts of your game that you think you're going to be able to carry on to the next couple levels?
Yeah, penalty kill is one of the parts of my game that I try to work hard at. Just getting the puck out of the zone and trying to defend the net from the other team, and
All right, Nepean Raiders Pro Texas, Ethan Rendell Watson and Ryan O'Connell. I can't say the newest members of the Nepean Raiders anymore because they just got more added tonight, but the new Bantam Pro Tex for Nepean. And all three of us are back here again. Andrew Foote, Dave Reynolds, Mike Nellis here on the CCHL live stream broadcast from the draft, which has kept going. The stands behind us are thinning out because more and more picks are on the board. We're just at the beginning of round 4. I can see here you can get the full list of drafted players on the league website, and we are going to carry on all the way through to round number 10. So we're not going to stick with you throughout this one. We'll take you back up to round 1, though, the round that we did cover. Number 1 pick from the Cumberland Grads, defenseman Travis Stevenson. Gloucester had 4 picks come through in the first round. They took 2 forwards and 2 goalies. The Hawkesbury Hawks, who started with the number 1 pick, moved on down to 10th and 11th, took a left winger and a netminder. We've met all the Bantam Pro Techs. We've seen the future of the CCHL, the future of the OHL, NCAA, and a couple of future NHLers perhaps on display tonight, Dave.
Very possibly. There are some high-end guys picked, such as Greg Morales and Zachary Rodrigue. They are both players with such a massive ceiling. As for guys that are going to dominate in this league, I think Ryan Wells is going to be one of the most complete and dominant CCHL players to maybe ever play in this league.
And Mike, I guess we'll ask if there's any teams that had a big weakness or a big need that they may have been able to identify here tonight in the draft. Again, this is all projecting. This is talking about development over 1, 2, 3 years. This is talking about growth physically, talking about growth mentally, growth hockey sense-wise. But this is the place where the seeds are sowed for potential championships.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I'm going to go in terms of teams that really did a good job of filling their needs outside of the playoffs from last year. And Hawkesbury and Cumberland, I think, did a very good job, especially Cumberland, because they did a good job, I thought, when it came to playing outside of their own zone. In the offensive zone, they were good. They had solid goaltending. They really improved on the defensive side, though, gaining Stevenson. And then you look at the Hawkesbury Hawks. They picked up Laidlaw. They picked up Wells, I believe. There's quite a few guys that go into the Hawkesbury Hawks that we have really profiled as being impact players. So despite trading away their first overall pick, they have really delivered here in this draft, I think, and it's going to be a good future for them if these players can develop the way that they're slated to.
In the blue pin right now, David, the Carleton Place Canadians, we got to meet some of their Bantam Pro Techs. They got a pick in the first round as well. They're the only team here who's technically not in the off season because they're going on to the Fred Page Cup tomorrow. Their practice slated for, I think, 5 o'clock tomorrow in St. Jerome, Quebec, which is about a 2.5 hour drive. They're going against St. Jerome and Granby from the Quebec League, as well as Truro from the Maritime Junior Hockey League. I guess I'll throw both of you, as we still have some hockey going on, what you may make of the Carleton Place Canadiens' chances going ahead in the Fred Page.
Well, I think when you have a player at the quality of a guy like Sturts, you have a chance in pretty much any game you play. The man scored 105 goals this season. I mean, it's not 105 goals. He had 105 points this season, which is just absolutely outstanding.
105 goals would be good too, though.
Yeah, it's above average. But yeah, no, when you have a player like that that can just dominate opposing defenses, you have a chance in every game you're ever going to play in.
Yeah, and you know, Dave hit it right on the head there. They've got a potent offense. Evan Peterson, Andy Sturts, that kind of, you know, that kind of 1-2 punch that they have is second to none in a lot of places. And I think you're not going to find many teams that can challenge them. I do like Truro a lot, though, and they've got a very solid goaltender in Chris Festorini, who came down from the Niagara Ice Dogs of the OHL. He's now playing in the Maritime Hockey League. There's a lot of former OHLers in the Maritime Hockey League. They did a pretty good job rolling through that league. So I think that if you're looking at competition for the Carleton Place Canadiens, you can look to the Maritimes and the Truro Bearcats.
All right, we're going to wrap here just in 1 second. Guys, quick Twitter handle plug.
At Real D Reynolds.
At 96 Nellis.
And at A Foot CCHL, foot with an E on it. You've been watching the 2014 CCHL Draft and meeting some of the Bantam Pro Techs here on the CCHL website, perhaps on the Facebook page, perhaps on fasthockey.com. We're going to continue to watch the Carleton Place Canadiens as they move ahead into the Fred Page and potentially the RBC Cup. So we may still have as much as 3 weeks of hockey left, but the future of the CCHL was partially laid out before us tonight. Still a lot of work to do in the offseason, a lot of recruiting, a lot of hitting the road, a lot of calls, visits, and scouting to happen. This is a big milestone in the CCHL's offseason, and we'll just have to get to see where this night leaves teams 2, 3, 4 years down the road. So for our crew here, for all of the volunteers who've helped put this draft together, for David, for Mike, my name's Andrew. Thanks very much for watching the live stream of the 2014 Central Canadian Hockey League Draft.